Hey guys, Zambie here, and welcome back to another Lost Saga video. Now, in this video, I'm gonna be doing something a little different. Nothing you should really care about, but just something a little different. Normally, when I do these videos, I'm playing Lost Saga and literally fighting while talking, and it normally interrupts the thing I'm talking about because this game pisses me off sometimes. And just gives me some major what the fuck moments, and then I'm like, what the hell's going on there? And then I lose track of what I was talking about. But one of the things that's going to be happening is the videos are going to be a little bit shorter. They're going to be around 15 minutes. That might not be a change that will last forever, but I'm going to try it. Just talking on Lost Saga for 20 minutes, I don't know, it's not pleasing. 15 sounds alright for me. But, it might not stay that way. It might go back to being 20 minutes. It might go even longer. It really depends on the situation and what there is to really talk about. But, to give myself something to talk about, I've decided that I'm going to be doing separate topics on every single video. Let's go ahead and stalk this guy. But the first thing I want to talk about is one of the main things on Lost Saga that everybody abuses, and I both like it and dislike it, to be completely honest. And that's stats. Not gears, not heroes, nothing like that. That's stats. So if you go to this guy, nope, he's not a good example. Let's see, who's a good example? Is there anybody in this room who is a good example? Probably Antonio. Yeah, if you go to Antonio, you can see that he has a plus 50 stat there, plus 30 stat. If you go to one of his big-time main heroes, he probably has something even... Oh, there's a 41. His Zerker... No, that's actually not too impressive. What's his next highest? Tau. I bet that Tau has some... Yep, there it is. He got 51 on that, he has 24 on that. The 51... Chi armor doesn't seem like an extreme amount, but that actually does help a lot with Chi armor loading. And that's the thing about this game. Like, I love stats, to be completely honest with you. It makes Lost Saga unique, and adds that little bit of flair that the game needs to stand out from other fighting games besides its swap. But besides being able to swap characters, not heroes, because we're talking about games that be called characters, being able to swap characters during combat, like you don't see that in any other game. The only other game that I know about that does that is Eden Eternal, and it's not a fighting game. It's an MMORPG. At least I believe I got that right. It might be something else. I'm pretty sure it's an MMO. But ooh, I almost got him. I would have been pissed if that happened. But, yeah, stats are brilliant. One of the defining things about this game is stats. But, lol, it still happened. But they need to contain the stats. Now, what I mean by that is they need to put some limitations on them. Like, let's say, for example, you're using a mage, and mage skills typically load faster than any skill in the game besides a few exceptions, like that legendary fireball trinket that's like Reaper's thing, and it loads like that. And people still stat stuff like that, and that's bullshit. That already has a fast loading time. But let's say you have a mage, and for example, let's call it a fire mage. On OGP, a fire mage, you could literally stat a fire mage to the point, I haven't seen this happen, but I've been told, and I darn well believe it, because in OGP stats were not fixed at all. You could literally stat a fire mage, and he could do a double fireball. Now, don't quote me on that, that's what I've heard. I never officially saw it, but I believe it. Wow, are you kidding me? 1-day delivery? Freaking raccoon ordered a gaming keyboard, and it took 1 day to get it. Are you kidding me right now? Guy using Amazon Prime, 1-day delivery. That's insane. But once he uses that gaming keyboard, it's gonna be a lot more fun, tell him that. I don't even have a gaming keyboard, but I know it is. I mean, that's why they're called a gaming keyboard. But, still getting off topic here. So yeah, you could literally stat a hero to do double skills. I mean, hell, that's overpowered in itself. Like, on OGP, if you started a lightning mage, which is one of my greatest fears on OGP, because if you started a lightning mage, you're lightning. Well, depending on how much you started it, obviously, but if you had plus, let's say 90, man, it would most likely load within 10, probably even less than that, seconds. And that's insane, because I use a Zerker, as most of you know, and I depend on using Warhorn, and Warhorn takes around 20 to 30 seconds, depending on how much you've statted it. Now, my Warhorn, as I can show you right now, is 34. And I've been working on mostly on my Miho ears, because one of the things I don't like about Lost Saga now is bought gears, and you need Miho ears to get out of bought gears. But that'll be a topic for another day. We're on about stats, and stats need controlling. I should have said controlling. That's what they need. They need a little bit of control. Because even on WeMade, you can still do things like infinite ice, which I will admit you can do that without stats, but technically you can't, because to do infinite ice, you need at least plus 20 to 30 ice to even make it possible. And you have to get lucky, but let's say your ice is plus 80, you can, for example, get them in infinite ice, and if you mess up, just use a gear that knocks them down, and then do it again, and then keep doing it until they are officially dead. Right? Completely bullshit. I mean, that's the thing about stats. They need some control. They need to add limitations. They need to add something like, let's say you're trying to make a gear go faster, which is what stats typically do, with the exception of a few. They would make it so, sorry for that pause, they would make it so, you could only do it so many times. Like, let's say, for example, you're statting, let's go back to statting a mage, let's say it's a fire mage. Okay, you want to make your fireball faster, right? Well, the game's typical fireball is, like, what? This is a guess, by the way, 15 seconds, maybe? I don't know, 19? Somewhere. Mage's fireballs are typically fast, let's just say that. So let's say you want to make your fireball load at, 10 seconds? At the most? Once you get it to that 10 point, which, let's say, would take plus 80 fireball, that's probably a wrong, but I'm just estimating here. And let's say you can't make it go past that. Like, let's say you're like, oh, I've got this, I can load in 10 seconds. I want to load in 5 seconds. So let's go ahead and stat my fireball to 150. I know it'll take a while, but let's do it. Make it so the game doesn't allow you to do that. Or if it does allow you to do that, it doesn't actually affect your fireball anymore. A limitation on how fast gears can load, even if you have them at plus 150 or 100, yeah, even 100. Just give it a limitation like that, because stats are, again, what makes this game unique and stand out between other games, among other features in the game. But they just don't have a, what's the word I'm looking for? They're just, I can't think of the word right now. They just don't have control of it. I'm going to say that. I was trying to think of a fancier word to say at this moment, but I can't. And if they had these limitations, like I wish they would, it would honestly make Lost Saga better. Some people wouldn't agree with me, but that's just guys who are skill reliant, and they're like, oh, I want to make my skill plus 150, and it loads in like 2 seconds. No! No! I call bullshit when you can do that. I call bullshit. And that's just something that, well, obviously you can't get a gear to load in 2 seconds, but you know what I mean. I'm not literally saying a gear in 2 seconds, but a gear that can load in like 10 to 8 seconds at most is possible, and it shouldn't be. It should not be, but if it is possible, there should be limitations, where you can only do it, where you can only make your gear go faster 3 times. Once your gear has been upgraded 3 times, and it'll pop up a note. Here's what I want. It'll pop up a notifier that your gear is 3 times faster. It'll pop up a notifier that your gear is 3 times faster, and if you stat it beyond this point, there would be no point in statting it beyond this point. Or maybe, if you stat it beyond that point, it won't load faster, but it'll be stronger. That's just honestly my perfect envision of Lost Saga, for stats at least. We'll get into other topics in the other weeks, because I got a lot to talk about. But that's just my thought process on what stats should be. It should be under control. It shouldn't be as overpowered as they are today. I mean, hell, people just go for plus 100 RuneScape, plus 100 Ice thing, plus 100 Pharaoh Robe, and that's getting into gears, but the gears need stats, so I'm allowed to get into gears a tiny bit when it comes to stats, because gears itself adds stats. Multiple stats, in fact. Gears sometimes have hidden stats, like for example, Sapper's Armor gives you dexterity, and if you stat the Sapper Armor, you get an extra slot to go for defense. Like you could make, but the thing about that is the extra slot for defense is half, so if you have 10 in your Sapper, if you statted your Sapper Armor 10 times, and I don't mean by upgrading, I mean by literally statting, it would add 5 defense to your character, to your current defense. So if you had 20 defense, it would add it, and it'd be 25 defense. Which typically what you want to do there is make your Sapper Armor plus 50 for an extra plus 25, depending on which character you're using. And that's another thing. Gears have hidden stats, which I'm kind of getting into gears here, but like I said, they have stats in them, so I mean, I have to talk about it. This is a stat video. And that is kind of, it's not breaking the game. It's not. I actually find it kind of neat how if you put Sapper Armor on, I mean, I never knew it in No Planet. I always thought Sapper Armor was just useless unless you want to put it on temporarily to fight a Sapper, so they couldn't, you know, plant mines on you. But apparently, nope, it adds a dex. And honestly, I'm okay with that. The only thing I said that I want done is they need to put limitations on stats. Because right now, it's just too many things can be done that break the game. Stats break the game, but they also make the game. That's what I'm trying to say here. And that's what I'm going to end off the video on, because that sounded pretty badass. I wanted to end off the video with a little badass comment, and I think I found one. Anyways, guys, if you like the video, like the topic, you know, be sure to give it a like or dislike. If you're giving it a dislike, please tell me why. Tell me what I can improve on. Maybe the pause that happened in this video. You know, just typical criticism. It's accepted. And be sure to subscribe, because there will be more Lost Saga videos in the coming weeks. I post a video every single week, with the exception of last week because I was sick. But yeah, anyways, I'm going to end off the video here, and I'll be seeing you guys next week. So yeah, bye.